FSN Radio. It's all about what's next. Go to financialsurvivalnetwork.com and sign up for your free weekly newsletter. You'll also get 3 free reports. The Financial Survival Network. It's all about what's next.
Trilogy Metals is a world-class developer in Alaska's Ambler mining district. The company already possesses 8 billion pounds of copper, 3 billion pounds of zinc, over 1 million gold-equivalent ounces, and now over 77 million pounds of cobalt. Trilogy's Arctic project boasts an after-tax net present value of $1.4 billion with a 33% IRR. Trilogy is led by an experienced management team with proven success in discovering and developing projects in Alaska. The company is well capitalized, has no debt, and possesses strong institutional support. Trilogy trades on the New York and Toronto exchanges under the ticker symbol TMQ. To learn more, go to trilogymetals.com. That's trilogymetals.com.
The Financial Survival Network. It's all about what's next.
Welcome. You are listening to the Financial Survival Network. I'm Kerry Lutz. It's 5/13/19. Hey, as always, be a part of the show and write us. Email us, kl@kerrylutz.com. Well, Mueller reports in, and now it's time to drain the swamp. Operation Drain the Swamp by Adam Andrzejewski. And Adam is with us now. He's been on the show a number of times before. Adam, hey, welcome back. And so, Drain the Swamp, what's going to happen next? Are these alleged coup plotters going to be taken down? They go into jail? Is Comey going to trade in his Brooks Brothers for a orange jumpsuit? What's happening here?
Well, Kerry, at openthebooks.com, we actually follow the money. So we open the books on federal spending, state spending, local spending.
Of course.
But what we do with that is we audit them. And with our latest report, we took a look at the federal funding of the Fortune 100 companies. So we have the president, and there's been a lot of winning, and he's promised to drain the swamp. He tweeted in September that the swamp was fighting back, but don't worry, we will win. Look, that made Nancy Pelosi, that made her crazy. She said that was our line.
No, crazier.
From us.
Crazier. She was already you said it made her crazy, but she was already pretty crazy. It made her crazier, even crazier.
She said she was going to end the culture of cronyism, incompetence, and corruption. What we have found with our latest report is that the corporate gravy train, it just rolls on. We found that that pay to play is underlying the entire system. The more you pay, the easier it is to play. $2 billion spent by the Fortune 100 in lobbying Capitol Hill. They received $3.2 billion in terms of grants, which, Gary, as you know, those are giveaways. Those are subsidies funded by the American taxpayer. On top of all of it, those Fortune 100 companies in this 4-year period ending in 2017 received nearly $400 billion worth of contracts. In September of 2018, we showed that the gravy train continues to roll on. Just 2 companies in the final 30 days of the fiscal year received $14 billion, which is Lockheed Martin and Boeing. And that probably in a 30-day period in the history of the world was the most money ever doled out on public contracting.
Mm-hmm. And no end in sight. I heard a story that when Trump, saw some defense contractor, he gave him a big hello and he started laughing. And the contractor said, "What's so funny?" He said, "How much money you guys are ripping the government off for." Trump is very aware of it. And, he's taken some baby steps, but, he had half the government trying to kick him out. So he couldn't exactly do everything that he wanted to do, could he?
Well, and it's been a stunning amount of winning over the course of 2 years. That's for sure. He takes his campaign promises seriously, on the courts, on taxes, on foreign policy, he's eliminated 30,000 pages of regulation from the Federal Register. This is a Trump economy, and, the jobless rate, I turned 50 this year. I was born in 1969. And as you know, Kerry, the jobless rate just hit a 50-year low. So there's been a lot going on and a lot of success. What we want the president to do right now is to now focus on his promise to drain the swamp. We've outlined a 3-point strategy where the president, as commander-in-chief, can wage war on federal waste. The first prong, and we put this open letter last September in the Wall Street Journal and USA Today. The letter was placed on the Oval Office desk, and it helped galvanize White House policy for 5% cut. Here's what we outlined: 100 outrageous examples of outrageous taxpayer abuse. Here's one of them. The Pentagon was paying $1,200 a piece for coffee cups. We actually got that stopped. Chuck Grassley wrote the oversight letter to the Pentagon. They admitted they spent $350,000 on those expensive coffee cups, and they stopped the practice.
Wow. Even if they only cut it down to $300,000, that would be a bit of a victory, wouldn't it?
Rarely do you get a victory. I've talked to you in the past that our team, over at the VA, we got a victory. Back in 2016, we found that during the period when 1,000 veterans had died because they couldn't get in to see a doctor on a timely basis, and the VA claimed a lack of budget, our auditors found $20 million spent on a high-end luxury art portfolio at the VA.
Oh,
now,
very nice
this is all the details on this are detailed in the book that you mentioned, Operation Drain the Swamp, where your listening audience can buy that at Amazon. Right.
Well, hey, it sounds like progress is being made. How serious do you think Trump is about draining the swamp?
Well, I think his instincts are good. I think he's serious on it. He has invested a lot of political capital in securing the nation's borders. We think he should expand his portfolio of projects to also put a wall around the United States Treasury. Look, he's going to campaign against Democrats and socialism, and Democrats draining the Treasury from the left. He cannot be seen as draining the Treasury from the right.
Mm-hmm. Agreed, for sure. So what do you is he going to win on this? What's going to happen?
Well, I think that he can make some strides on it in his first term. That's for sure. So, it's a target-rich environment. I will just walk you through some federal grants that are just out of control. We did an oversight report, again, detailed in our book, Operation Drain the Swamp. The oversight report looked at the over $600 billion worth of federal grant making last year. And here's what we found. Gary, there's nearly a grant for everybody. Cornell University, they got $1 million to study where it hurts the most to be stung by a bee. NASA doled out $1 million to prepare the nation's religion for the discovery of extraterrestrial life. The prostitutes in California got $1.4 million to teach them sex ed. They could probably teach the class.
Yeah. Oh, God, it's unbelievable. It's hard to believe, So the point is, like right now, for him to really cut back on spending, it's not just the Democrats in the Congress he has to take on. It's the Senate. It's the Republicans as well, because it's an unholy alliance. So he has so few friends already. He can't take everybody on here at once, Adam, can he?
And that's probably why he has left the Fortune 100 companies alone. We detailed at the start of your program today that in a 4-year period ending in 2017, this is really an oversight report mostly on the Obama administration, but it does continue under President Trump, that the companies, these Fortune 100 companies, they spent $2 billion, which is a tremendous amount of money. It's $3.7 million on average per member of Congress. So you wonder why. You get these people elected to Congress on a good platform. You think they've got morals and principles. They go up there in Capitol Hill, and just the Fortune 100 companies hit these people with nearly $4 million over a 4-year period in lobbying. And it's no wonder they go south. It's persuasion, it's access, it's influence, it works. And here's what it brought home for Fortune 100 companies: $3.2 billion in grants, not considering the nearly $400 billion in contracts. So look, you're right. The president, you can't take on all comers at once. And he's done a good job of fighting the battles that he can win. But now it's the big battle. Look, He signed budgets, and there's trillion-dollar deficits. Deficits for as far as the eye can see. $22 trillion national debt. That's $65,000 for every man, woman, and child in this country. Terry, if you have a family of 4, your share of the national debt is $260,000. The president he's got to engage in this war on waste.
And you know that he's acutely aware of it. Look, he cracked down on Boeing for the Air Force One replacement, right? He, forced them to cut. He also piled on for the F-35 for that corrupt project. But there's so much corruption. Where do you start? Like, if you had to do the top
and let's
three
consider
things.
Boeing, because Boeing is really dialed into the federal checkbook, right?
Oh, God.
So Boeing spent $72 million lobbying in this 4-year period. They received the most federal grants out of any company in the Fortune 100, a stunning number. $750 million worth of subsidies, and on top of that, about $81 billion worth of contracts. Here's one of the things that they've contracted for, and it's $1 billion boondoggle. They're supposed to be building the next sophisticated rocket to get astronauts back to the moon and then on to Mars. It was supposed to be delivered years ago for about $6 billion. Cost overruns have pushed the cost to $9 billion, and it's years late. And NASA just greenlit over $300 million worth of performance bonuses to Boeing employees.
Wow. Performance for what? What did they do?
It's over budget, and it's years late, and they're collecting hundreds of millions of dollars of performance bonuses. I think it's an outrage.
Yep. Well, hey, we see it over and over again. There's nothing new here. I'm always reminded by former Senator, the late Senator William Proxmire's Golden Fleece Award that he gave to all these whacked out programs. That was 30, 40 years ago. It's done nothing but get worse here, Adam. Is there any political will to tackle this? And will a lot of these companies go out of business? How badly is Boeing going to be affected by it?
Well, look, the regular people across the entire country, we need to raise our voice. We have a petition at openthebooks.com. It's received over 105,000 signatures from regular people. It was endorsed on the pages of the Wall Street Journal by 140 former ambassadors, governors, U.S. senators, former House Speaker Newt Gingrich, the former Attorney General under Ronald Reagan, Ed Meese, Mike Huckabee, whose daughter obviously sits in the White House. It's to wage war on waste. And you can come to our website and sign the petition to encourage the president to wage war on waste. Otherwise, it's not going to happen because obviously, as big corporations, they used to hire lobbyists to keep government out of their business. Now they're hiring the lobbyists to partner with government to bring them in. And so change will only happen, and the president will only be able to wage an effective war on waste with the support of the American people.
So I think the support is there.
It's the biggest issue in polling. Think about all the way from K through 12 schools, all the way through college, all the way through the mainstream media.
Agree with you.
What do you hear about? You hear about climate change.
Yeah.
A recent poll from Rasmussen said 39% of the people think climate change or global warming is a crisis. In the same poll, 53% of the American people said that public corruption is a crisis. 90% of the people believe it's a significant problem. And 80% of the people think that companies at the federal level get the contracts because they're the most connected, not the most qualified.
Yeah. And
our checkbook oversight bears that out.
Agreed. Well,
so it's the old story. This is, good policy, defends the American taxpayer, and it's also good politics. So if the American people raise their voice, we'll find politicians willing to lead on it because they follow the political will of the people.
Yeah, well, it's got to be front and center. I think it's crucial. Corruption has brought down arguably the Roman Empire, the Greek Empire. All of these empires have died because of corruption, and it might well be the death of America and everything that the American way of life is all about. Its positives, put it that way. Anyway, you have to go take a look at this book because it's Operation Drain the Swamp, and it's by Adam Andrzejewski. And Adam, it's a pleasure having you here. Hey, people want to find out more about you. Obviously, the book, without saying, is available at Amazon and Barnes & Noble and wherever fine books used to be sold. Adam, people want to find out more about what you're doing. What's the site?
So it's openthebooks.com, and just subscribe, and we send you a subscriber email once a week, keeping you updated on our latest oversight.
All right. Excellent. Hey, we love what you're doing. Keep up the great work. We will talk to you again soon, and let's keep up the fight. Hey, questions, comments, email us, kl@kerrylutz.com, Twitter feed @KerryLutz. Facebook page is Financial Survival Network. Whether you're listening on a podcast or watching on YouTube, just please subscribe, like, and share. Really helps us a lot when you do it. Helps us get ideas out there like what Adam has been talking about and what openthebooks.org is all about. Adam, thanks so much. We'll talk to you again soon.
FSN Radio. It's all about what's next. Go to financialsurvivalnetwork.com and sign up for your free weekly newsletter. You'll also get 3 free reports. The Financial Survival Network. It's all about what's next.